to give you a view of the car now. I just pre-recorded a segment in the car, so I can't remember if I put this in here. Do apologise if this video seems to be all over the place, but it's in a sequence, but obviously there's been days and a few weeks in between it all. But I'll show you what it looks like now, and it's finished. So I'm just about to do a service on it, and there's a slight knock on the driver's side front wheel, so I believe the ball joint possibly needs replacing. So I'm going to do the service first, and then I can take it off the ramp and then jack it up and have a look. I'm sure it is because I can hear a slight knock, but it's taxed, MOT'd and insured, and I've been using it, but I was using it for a little bit while one of my other cars was off the road, and yeah, I've come back now to finish it off. But I'll show you what it looks like. So I actually can't remember if I've already shown you all this, but the car's cleaner anyway. I'll include this if I haven't already showed you. I have gone round it with the mop, polisher, etc. to give it a good buff, but there's some of the scratches are showing back through like them. But yeah, we're not going to worry about that. So that was the blend we did there. I'm sure I've shown you. I really can't remember where I am. Don't think I showed you the bonnet though, did I? But the bonnet's back on, as you can see. So the colour match is obviously really good against that, because obviously I sprayed this. But considering that crappy gun I use, there is a slight, well, it depends what angle you're at. There's a quite slight colour distortion. There's a slight colour difference, but you know, this is a 13 plate. It's new paint and that's old, but I didn't do a blend on them. I didn't think it looked too bad, but if you look for me, it looks fine anyway. But yeah, so obviously it blends with all this. The bonnet's slightly up at the moment, so that's why there's a big gap. Around there, so it looks all fine. I asked a couple of people their opinion on my blend, and the average Joe can't tell. I think there's a bit of polish there needed. It's the dog, as always. But yeah, we're fine. I just want to show you this grill. Right, yeah, so the grill I took off. Which way is it? That way. So obviously it had this crack in it, and that chip, and I actually got some overspray on it, which I never noticed, because when you're looking down on it you can't actually tell, but it's all cracked there and cracked there. The plastic surround is better than the one, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I was going to say it looks better, but I bought this pattern one. I'm not happy with it. The quality of it is really poo, but it was only 30 quid. So you can see it's on. Obviously it looks better, because that's where the crack was, but if you think it's, I mean, from this distance it looks alright. It doesn't quite fit, but you know. But the only thing I don't like about it is these bits, look, where this plastic chrome meets. Obviously it's not refined very well, but yeah, it is what it is, I'm afraid. I'm certainly not going to buy another one now. It will do. It will weather and maybe look better in time. But yeah, so I'll show you the interior actually, because I've just cleaned the interior and it's come up quite nice. Even though I cleaned it before, but it got a bit dirty and dusty. But it's quite tidy in here. I blacked the carpets as well with some dye, because they were a bit naff. I only cleaned it yesterday. Well, I hoovered it out. It didn't need an interior clean, apart from some shiny bits. Clean the shiny bits. But it's all here, and it's all back to normal, and it's usable. Obviously it looks quite shiny. The only thing that's a bit annoying I don't like about it, it hasn't got forward sync. So even though you've got USB, you can't plug your iPhone into it. You can put USB in and listen to music, or an iPod, but not an iPhone or a Samsung phone, which is a bit annoying. Even though in the book pack there's a manual for sync to link up your audio. But the stereos in Ford Fiestas are really good. They've always been quite good quality compared to some cars I've had. I've just tyre blacked the tyres, and I've cleaned the inside, so there's obviously a little bit of dirt in there. And I was going to say I've touched up the wheel, but that's not me. That's from previous. The one I did was Oh god, look at that there, see how bad that is, look. The one I did was this one. So you can see obviously the paint's better. I only put a little bit of filler over it and then resprayed it and then blended it in with a bit of a fade out finish just to blend the shine back into it. But that was just on my gun, and then a bit of rattle can. The discs and pads are a bit crappy because they've got shit on them still from not being used much, but they was only changed 10,000 miles ago, so they obviously don't need doing. That bloody dog drinking out of the water. And then the back end's alright. The only thing that lets it down a little bit is this crack. I was going to do it, but you know, can't be bothered. And then the backs, is that, yeah, there's a spare in there which is a Bridgestone and it's new. But yeah, the car's ready now, it's fine. As I say, it went for an MOT and it passed. So I got the service kit from Euro Car Parts. A filter, you got a Bosch oil filter and some Castrol Magnatec. It does say stop start on it, but it's fine. And it's the proper oil for this car, because you're only supposed to use Castrol or Ford oil, which I'm guessing the Ford oil is Castrol. But yeah, so that and that, £50 and 45 pence. Was 100, but obviously with Euro Car Parts you always have that older discount. But I thought it was a bargain. So it's only 4 litres. They normally come in 5, don't they? But it's 3.9 litres for this car, and this is for diesel and petrol engines. But I thought that was an absolute bargain for quality branded parts, because normally I get the I normally have the cheapy QX stuff. That's what I normally have, and that was actually more dearer than the Castrol, so I'm happy about that. So yeah, so anybody out there that wants to service your car, you should really give it a try, because the actual service parts aren't exactly always dear. It's the labour that costs. You know, someone can easily, I mean, it'd probably take me an hour and someone can easily charge you 50, 60, 70 quid for that hour. I guarantee if they brought those parts and serviced it, you're more talking 200. But yeah, so let's I'll come back to you in a minute once I've started draining the oil. And I have got this, I haven't used it. There's a bit of oil in there, but you're supposed to be able to tip it that way, unplug it, and then the oil should drip straight into it. That's the plan. I brought this from Euro Car Parts as well. I think it was like 20 quid. I'm not even sure if that's oil in there or water, because I did leave the lid off. But yeah, I can't remember. I've serviced a Fiesta before, but not a diesel. So we'll do that, and I'll come back to you shortly, because you know, service is pretty boring really. Anyway, see you in a minute. Right, that's the oil filter in. Oh, still got some leakage out there. Still dripping. Even though it's on the tilt. Right, I'm just not sure that's the best way to get the oil filter out, but I found that easier. Let's take that off. Let's have a look at this. There we are, it's pretty skanky. According to the book, it had a service, I think it was 81,000 miles, it's done 92. So I suppose it's about right, isn't it? Well, the garage serviced it, so who knows if they changed the filter. I mean the airbox. I mean, who knows if they changed the air filter, because I know I brought a car not long ago and they serviced it, and I checked it, and the air filter was not changed. Just because it looks clean doesn't mean it doesn't need changing. But you know what garages are like. That was actually from a dealer as well, a Ford dealer. Even though I wasn't buying a Ford, I bought a Mercedes, but there you go. Right. That's about right, and it gets some dirt on it. There you go, lovely new filter. But I'm just going to button all this back up and then just going to put some oil in it, but we still seem to be dripping. Right, I'll be back. Right, so we've moved on to the ball joint. I have just quickly uploaded a short video asking for people's advice because I took all the wheel off and I just couldn't replicate the knock that I was getting while it was on the ground. So I had a quick look on the internet, as you do, and obviously there was lots of information about these and what possibly is the cause. So I thought I'd just take it off and give it a whirl. But lots of people on about. Someone just posted messages about the tie rod, but I felt that there's nothing wrong with that. Suspension. Some people said it knocks at top. Wasn't that? Why is that dust cover them off? And so I've got it off. God, that was a pain to get off. I had to use the air chisel on it just to bash it down a bit, and that's obviously okay. That one's okay, but yeah, we know the problem. So that's broke off, but I did chip it away obviously, but that's the one. So at least we know that. So I've had a quick look on Euro car parts for the part. Now this piece, the ball joint is about 18 quid. The whole piece is 100, but with discount you can get it for 50. Obviously the cheapest option is to go for the 18 quid and just do the ball joint, but I don't have the ability to press that back out or press it back in, so I'm going to end up struggling my ass off trying to replace that for the sake of saving myself, what was 18 quid. I can buy the whole lot for 50, and these will obviously all be nice and replaced as well, even if they look alright. So I'm going to do that. Only thing is I need to go and get one. They're probably pretty shut now, but yeah, that was pretty shit. It's all pretty manky in there. But yeah, I suppose lots of people would replace that, but I had a quick look on the internet about people replacing that, and virtually all the people I found that do replace it have got a bench press or a hydraulic press, whatever you want to call it, a ram, I don't know what they are. Well, I do know what they are, whatever you call them, but yeah, so I don't have the ability to do that, so I had to struggle my ass off trying to get that out and put one in. And for the sake of a couple of more tenors, I can do the old arm, but at least I know what it is. So I'm happy about that, and then I can not have to worry about it now. But there you go. But yeah, the use of my air hammer, not sure if that's an official way, but it got it off, and I made the decision when I was taking it off that I'd replace it anyway, even if I didn't damage it or it wasn't bust, just to be on the safe side, because you just never know, do you? That literally took 10 minutes, if that. There we go, we're back on. Super duper. Let's put the wheel on and then call it a day, I think. Right, hope you've enjoyed this segment. I'm actually recording two endings to two different videos, so this one will go out and then there'll be another one, and I'll pretty much the same and the same background. It's just I was pre-recording an ending, sat in the car yesterday, and something come up, and the car's now in the garden, so it's going to look a bit weird, but yeah, you'll get the drift anyway. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Do apologise, this build has been a bit lengthy, and I have recorded this video over several weeks. Weather's been atrocious. It's now the summer holiday, so 3 children at home driving me up the wall, and it's hard to do bits of work on the car, plus I need to still go into work and manage some builders, because we've got some building work on where I work. But yeah, thank you for viewing and subscribing if you have, or if you would like to, please do. And I'll see you in the next instalment, which will be with us very shortly. Bye bye.